See you.
Thank you. So, welcome to everybody who's on here. Very, very happy to see all of you, and thank you so much for joining in.
Absolutely.
Very, very grateful to each one of you.
Yes, for having chosen this
Absolutely.
of parenting as a teacher, as a caregiver, as a parent,
As a child,
as a child.
I don't have children yet.
Well, you still qualify because your entry into this reality is as a child.
Yes. Chandana will be on any moment. So, she's going to be here any moment and we'll begin. But before that, like Ruchika said, Ruchika, would you like to go ahead and share? Oh, she's here. Hi, Chandana.
Hi. Yes, you knew when I was just going to be on, right?
Absolutely.
Hi, girls. Hi, Reshma. Hi, Richika.
Hi.
Thank you, sweetheart, for coordinating and organizing yet another fabulous Zoom chat. Wonderful. Thank you.
I can't remember having so much fun working as I am.
Right, me too. What a coincidence! Me too.
How did we go wrong here together?
Yep, we sure could. Wonderful.
We have some parents or some people today who are not from the Access background. So I'll just start with a snapshot of what Access is for the benefit of those people and then introduce all of us. As the website also points out, and we've learned over and over again in classes, Access is a point of view about life. It takes you beyond the concept of healing or the wellness of the body in terms of actually making you question what you've created and what it is that you would like to change. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that's going wrong or you're stuck. You could be having a great life, but hey, how does it get better than this? Or have you decided that that's the ceiling? And if you do want to have more fun, more creation, you're like, let's just keep it as what it is, rather than trying for more and losing out on this also. So it is a space of no judgment at all about anything. The first thing that we let go of is the right and wrong about everything. And just asking ourselves, all right, so this is what was created, what next? And so from that space is this particular class of Access, Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids. It's amazing if we could just take our children into an expansive space that talks about what more, rather than to create the wrong and right polarity in their life and ask them to create from there. And that is where today Chandana will give us some snapshots, some insights into this class. And before she comes on, I'd like to introduce myself as Ruchika Handa, a bars facilitator living in Netherlands, Dutch of Indian origin, with 3 children, who was, if I could put it in a single sentence, struggling through life till I decided I've had it. I can have fun. And when I decided that, Access Consciousness was gifted to me. And this class with Chandana was like a sparkle that has just created and out-created itself. This class, the Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids one-day class will be held in Holland. Reshma, could you mute everybody for some time, please? Otherwise, I think I'm
I am Ruchika, just that when people come on, they're unmuted. So for that one, you'll hear some noise, but yeah.
So Chandana travels from Delhi, where she lives, to Holland. and does the Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids class here, live and online too. So if you can't travel, you can enjoy the class in the comfort of your home. And it doesn't end there. She takes us to France, where Celine, Severine, and Andrelon. I hope I got your names correct, girls. And I will be hosting Chandana to give us a 2-day class. Again, the Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids. And if you can't make it live, then you can enjoy it from the comfort of your home and soak up the energies that create the shifts that you've been asking for. Is that right, Chandana?
Absolutely, sweetheart. You put it so brilliantly and made it so simple for everyone to get that. Even a humanoid brain like mine got it. Thank you for that.
And I leave it to you now.
Thank you, darling. Yes, I thank Ruchika for inviting me to Holland and my fabulous hosts in France, Severin and Lawrence and Celine, who have also invited me to Paris. And of course, Ruchika will also be there. And to facilitate this class. Now, what is Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids? I mean, when this name actually came up and I put the first post out, I remember for a class, somebody actually texted me asking me, can there ever be conscious parents and conscious kids? That was actually a question that I was asked. And that got me to think. I'm like, what have people defined as conscious parents? What have people defined as conscious kids? Where does that take away from you as being a kid or as being a parent? I mean, how many judgments crop up, right? When we say we have to be conscious parents. We have to, it almost tells you, you have to do what is right. And that's where our parenting starts. Our parenting starts from judgment. Judging, are we doing it correctly or are we doing it wrong? Judging, am I being the correct parent or am I not doing it correctly? It's constantly judging yourselves. What if parenting was not about judging yourselves? What if it was just about having ease? So yes, with the first class this class comparatively is pretty new. It's barely 7-8 months now, and we started with doing introductions, and then I did the first 1-day class in America, and it was awesome because the manual was written for our class, and it was almost like it changed so much for all the participants, including me, because like I always say, the magic of facilitating access classes is, as it changes stuff for the participants, it changes stuff for you too. So you see, I'm not just doing it for you guys, I'm also doing it for myself.
Win-win situation for both people.
Yeah, babes. So yeah, so much change, and it was so phenomenal. Like Gary and Dane, they always say, right, if you have been a child, ever if you've been a child, then you qualify for conscious parents, conscious kids. So if you have been a child, but if you were born an adult, then you don't qualify for it. But if you were ever in diapers, then you definitely qualify for this class. It's not just about parenting. It's also about changing your relationships within the family, with your parents, with your kids, with each other. I mean, how many grudges do we still hold against our parents? I like that smile. I like that laugh. Judith, I loved it.
Well, familiar with that.
What if we could just get rid of those grudges? How much easier would life be? How much more ease could you have? Yeah, so it's like the very thought of it is just so expansive. It's almost like getting rid of all that burden that you're carrying on your back. And you really don't need to do that. Your parenting doesn't really have to come from that space either. So I'd love to have some questions from all of you out there. If anything in particular that you're looking to ask for or anything at all.
Can I just pop a question up?
Sure.
For those of the people that are not from the access background and choose this class, what is it that will help them to connect with the energy, which is the quantum entanglements that are always the key creators and shift in our life? Absorb the class.
So, Ruchika, thank you for that question. And yes, for all of you who have never done an access class before, um, conscious parents, conscious kids is not about rules. It's not about telling you how to parent your child and how not to parent your child. It's more about having you look at and create the possibilities. It's almost having you look at all those areas of your parenting, all the areas of where you've decided is a problem with your kids or with your parents, and actually turning that around to be a possibility for you. That's the magic of this class. And and how does the energy work? Actually, Ruchika, the tools are so simple, and it just brings you out of all those all those contextual realities that we parent from, of where we know that we should be doing, saying, being something different with our kids, but we don't allow ourselves to do that and be that because the society says no, or our friends say no, that's not cool. So it's almost like you are in a battle with yourself constantly.
I was about to say that sometimes the judgments come from us.
Yes, all the time the judgments come from us. It's us judging ourselves, it's us judging our kids, it's us wanting our kids to do what we couldn't do, deciding that's the correct thing for them without even asking, hey, would you really like to do that? Would that really be fun?
Correct.
But
And
Chandana,
as
the belief
experience
is
that
that
when
children.
you're doing any particular class, it also reflects into everything. It could be your business, your relationships, or any other creative or reality of your life, but nothing goes untouched whenever you dip your fingers into any class at all. Would that apply
Absolutely.
here?
Totally. What do you know, Ruchika? What are you aware of, sweetheart? Well, I like to just put it this way. If this gives you a little hint towards what the class is all about, when I did one of the conscious parents, conscious kids intro class, it was funny because the lady's husband called me, who was not in class, and the lady's husband called me after the intro and said that a problem that he had been having with his parents over a matter of they had some issue over a house, and that just got solved within a day, just like magic. You know what we talk about, magic? So it's like, what are you refusing to receive from your parents? What gift are you refusing to be to your children? And what gift are you refusing to be to your parents? What have you decided is a gift? And what have you decided you have to be as a child or as a parent? What if all of those decisions were lies? What if what is true for you is for you to look for, is for you to recognize, is for you to acknowledge? Are you then willing to have that? Are you willing to receive that awareness? And are you actually willing to create from that awareness. And everything that doesn't allow that can we destroy and uncreate it all. Right and
Yes,
wrong,
please.
good and bad, bottom park, online shots, boys and beyonds. So for all of you who haven't done any access class, that may sound a little jumbo bumbo out there. That's the clearing statement of access consciousness. You can find a lot more on the net, on Google. Google it, find out more about it. It's very, very interesting to know more. What it does is it simply clears whatever energy is sticking you to not allow you to create what you're looking to create. It's just that simple.
Yeah, it just fries your brain in the beginning because the
Yes.
words just
And I think that's also pretty much the idea of it, right? The,
yes,
it
yes.
gets you to stop thinking. It gets you to stop sitting and looking at it in a very theoretical manner and just actually asking yourself, hey, what's working for me here? What's working for my kids here? What can contribute truly to them, right? And yes, it is about, are you willing to be that different? How true. Are you willing to be that different? Are we willing to be that different? I mean, you've got to be a really different parent to be willing to allow your kids to choose for themselves.
But Channa, kids don't know. They're so small. They don't know.
I know, Reshma. They don't know. You're absolutely right. All right, yeah. I guess that's the first space where we disempower our kids, that you don't know. You don't know I know more than you because I'm bigger, I'm older, I have more experience. What if experience is just a lie? Instead of telling our kids, hey kids, what are you aware of? Instead of asking our children and empowering them by telling them that you may have a little body, but you are an infinite being. Instead of us making them aware and empowering them to allow their awareness to step up, we are continuously trying to protect them, which again disempowers them. Kids
And
know it all. Kids know it all, but are you willing to let them know it? Or would you rather have them dependent on you? I mean, honestly, if your kids aren't dependent on you, what good a mom are you? Right? So many of us believe that we have to have our kids dependent on us. That's that is how good a parent we are. So everything that brought up, can we destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, bottom park, online shots, boys and beyonds.
but Channa, I have a question there.
Yes, darling.
When we are talking to when we're talking to kids that who are very small, and uh, how, and we're supposed, in this reality, we're supposed to tell them what's right, what's wrong, what are morals, and all of that. So how do we sort of empower them to know what they know? What is it that we could do? Is this class all about that to start with? I haven't been in one. uh, so what is it?
This class is about you actually empowering your child to know that she knows by giving her the true space of choice, showing her, actually actually giving her the allowing her to receive the awareness of what would life be like if she chose something, and what would life be like if she didn't choose something, allowing her to play with the energies of light and heavy. And the biggest thing is to empower the child to trust her knowing and not to make her wrong for it. This class is truly so phenomenal, so phenomenal. I just wish this was taught in schools. I wish this was a subject, because that's when actually our kids can receive themselves. They can receive themselves. And it's not about making this reality wrong. Not for a second is it about teaching your kids to make this reality wrong. I really look at it this way: access consciousness is not an island that you're cut off from everybody else and you're floating in the middle of water all alone. It's about you creating with this reality. It's teaching your kids how can they create the greatest with this reality. It's not about making this reality a wrongness. It's not about looking at reality and saying, oh my God, only if it wasn't for this. It's looking at it and saying, oh, that looks like an issue, that looks like a problem. What is the possibility there?
So this is practical, you're saying. It's absolutely practical to let children know that they know.
Yep, it is. It is absolutely. It's practical. It's creating.
Yeah.
It's creating for them.
I would like to say something. Is it possible?
Hi. Sorry, darling. Lawrence, you've been in a class with me.
Yes, I was in your class, and I want to share something because my question in that class was my daughter, who is 6, she has never slept alone. She was always in my bed, or yes, never alone. And my question was, how can I change? And during your class, your call, I've realized that it was not about her, it was about me. I was not willing to let her sleeping alone. My goodness, do you realize that? Just because I was afraid that she go out, you know? If
Yes.
I wake up on the night, she's not here anymore. And after your call, it was really challenging for me. And now,
Yes.
2 months
Thank you for
later,
that, Lawrence. Thank you, sweetheart. I remember how
yes,
yes.
yes, I remember. And now she's sleeping alone in her room, not all the night, but at the beginning.
Wonderful.
And when she wake up on the night and she thinks that I'm not here anymore, she come back in our bed. But that's okay. It's a process. And yes, I'm so happy to know that it was my fear. It was not her fear.
So, Lawrence, when you grow up, she'll start sleeping on her own. Right?
Yes.
There she is. It's more about us being willing to allow them to be independent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, somebody,
Giving up that job, right? Yeah.
Chandana, somebody has a question.
Yes, dear.
Make your child aware when there are other people around you affecting their point of views.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, it's a little confusing. Kriti, could you come on and ask your question? That would be great.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Audible? Okay. I just wanted to ask that you're not the only one affecting your child, and you're not the only one making them aware or teaching them. There are other people, like at home you have other family members, and there are and there are in school you have teachers.
Yes.
So and when a teacher comes and tells you that your child is not doing this, you should educate him, you should do this, that, left, right. So you tend to get carried away with all those point of views.
Sweetheart, that's where you use the tool interesting point of view. Right? Because if you don't buy the points of view that the teachers are throwing at you, you're not going to make that your child's reality. You only make that real for him when you are willing to buy the teacher points of view. The teachers are doing
Okay.
their job, right? You have to
Hmm.
see what creates for you and your child. Buying
Hmm.
points of view about how a 3-year-old child is slow because he's not speaking in class, or or telling a parent that your child is slow because he doesn't finish his ABCD in time. That's
Hmm.
really limiting a child and really labeling a child. So what if you can
Yeah.
look at it all as just an interesting point of view?
But at
Simply
the same
a point
time,
of
you
view.
like you would really like your child to do well and be at par. I know it's like
Yeah.
a little imposing things on the child, and you feel guilty also at the same time, because because I have been like doing access for some time now, and I
Yeah.
know that this is not something right that I do many
So
times.
we have lots of tools in the manual where we actually make studies fun. You can actually
Hmm.
make studies easy, and you can actually start to poke and pod your points of views about studies.
Hmm.
How much can that then change, right?
Right.
Yeah. To start with, teach your child the tool of interesting point of view. Every time,
Hmm.
every time, every time a teacher says that he's not good enough. Every time
Yeah.
a teacher says you didn't do your work, you're a bad boy. In his head,
Hmm.
interesting point of view, without a point of view truly. Teach him the art and the magic of allowance. And
Hmm.
that'll only come, sweetheart, when you truly start to use them. Do you get
Hmm.
that?
I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask something else, like, because
Yeah.
when you do it, or if, when the teacher is like complaining about him, although it's like, um, I get it that when I take it in a fun way, then he is like able to learn more, and like, but and when the teacher is like in front of him is like. Pointing out mistakes, so like the child gets little affected more than us, and
You know
then he
that
gets scared when you like ask questions or ask them to learn, then he gets a little scared, and that thing's like hanging around in his awareness somewhere.
kids are very aware. They're very aware. And even if you don't say anything, but if you start to think of it, they're going to pick it up. So a great tool to teach your kids there would be, who does this belong to? Whose awareness is he picking up on? That's making him less than what he truly is.
I'd just
Right?
like to share something that Ilse
Yeah.
has put out there in the chat,
Yeah.
that she's a teacher, and today she taught some little ones return to sender and
Oh,
the light and heavy. And in
wonderful.
she saw that the children, they were curious, and then they weren't tired or having headaches anymore. I mean, how does it get better than
Awesome. I mean,
uh,
really? You mean the kids don't have to be exhausted when they come back from school? Can it be that easy?
that? That you've really
Yeah.
slogged it out the whole day and showed
Wow.
faces.
Wow. Awesome. That is so beautiful. Yes, indeed. Indeed. My daughter, who's 16, is now in grade 10. And so initially she had the normal, usual battles of school that kids do. Now when she goes to school, she's armed with, I would say, a tanker full of access tools. And she knows which one to take out and shoot from, exactly, with every little thing that shows up. The day her teacher's in a bad mood, she knows which one to use, and she comes back saying, "Oh, I manipulated my teacher," and just saying, "No, you're really a nice girl." She says, "Mom, I have all the tools." And then she tells me, the other day, a friend of mine was really in a bad mood, and I noticed after a while my mood began getting bad. And I just did, "Who does this belong to?" And I was fine. So it's when the kids actually start to recognize how potent these tools are, how much of your parenting, how different does your parenting have to be then? Where you don't have to tell the child that sadness, anger, fear is true. Where you can tell them that that's all a lie. And you can
Yeah.
actually sit them across you and ask them, what's true for you, honey?
I
Okay.
have a question.
Chandana, I just wanted to say that my son is like just 6 years old, and although he knows, I try to like I've told him to say all of life comes to me with with ease, joy and glory. So he
Yeah,
does that, and he does. How does it get any better than this? And he knows who does this belong to as well. But
wonderful.
where to use it, and how do you introduce that, like they kind of he has kind of learned these terms, but he doesn't know how to use these terms.
You
So
know, darling, what I would
mm,
like you all to teach your kids, the first tool is just to tell them anytime anything shows up, just say
mm.
pock and pod.
Oh,
Just
great.
pock and pod. That in itself will change the energy. That you can tell a little child who's, I mean, a nursery child who's 2.5 going to school can say pock and pod in his head. Something
Mm.
makes you sad, something makes you angry, pock and pod.
Oh,
And then
okay.
slowly, you can introduce different tools. Don't bombard them with too many tools at one time. Then maybe after a week, 10 days, give them the tool or what else is possible. Then maybe give
Mm.
them the tool of interesting point of view. And slowly, gradually start to do that. You can explain, you can just tell them that, if something's making you sad, that's not yours. Give it back to the sender. Just by them becoming aware that the sadness is not theirs changes things for them. They don't even have to say who does this belong to, return to sender, but just make them aware that sadness is a lie, anger is a lie, it's not yours. How much?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, darling, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow, so beautifully you put that, Chandana. I mean, to really be able to share that tool with a 2.5 is
Yeah,
so
right.
empowering. How
Yes,
I wish I had the tools when I was 2.5.
I know. And how different would our parenting have to be for all of that? It's not just sitting with the child across and giving them the tools, it's actually being the tools with your kids. It's actually being a space of no judgment.
Totally. We have a question on that, Chandana,
Yeah.
because somebody tells us that her son is 16 and he started being in his zone all the time. He
He
hardly
started?
being in his own zone.
Okay.
He hardly talks and shares at home where previously he used to do. I need to work on it or just let him be in his space.
You can always ask him if he's being present. Is he being present or is he checking out of his body?
Okay.
You could always look into and, check if there are entities there. You can always check if he's in conversation with entities where you think he's zoned out and not talking, but is he in a different dimension? You have to ask questions, guys. We have to stop concluding about what's happening. We have to stop concluding that it's a wrongness. It's different. What is that?
No, but how can we stop telling our children what to do? How can we
I
ask
know.
them a question?
I know.
You should
I know.
tell them.
I agree with you on that one. Totally. Yep. Yep.
So
It's
I hope
different. Yeah.
you've all got an idea of the wealth of tools and the amount of space that we can create with this class. Just remember, if you choose it, whether your child is 2 or your parent is 16, that's the kind of a timeline you are initiating changes across. And when we say that we can use these tools with our children and parent from a different perspective, it takes courage to say that goodbye to all the points of view you've held, because come on, I mean, we are 20, 30, 40, and we've spent a good number of years collecting experiences. So it's precious to us.
Yep,
Difficult
true
to
that.
let till you don't let it go, there is no space for something different.
Yeah.
So, what would it take for each one of us as a caregiver, parent, child to look at us as a clean canvas every day, every moment, and create something different from there?
Beautifully
Are we
put,
willing to think,
Ruchika.
Paula?
So beautifully put. Yeah. In fact, I would really like to leave you all with one question. What if you all could start to parent your kids the way you wished you had been parented? Without looking at it as the wrongness, without looking at the wrong or the right way of having done it. But what if you could be that gift to your kids today? Of actually giving your kids true choice. True choice creates, guys, in every way. I mean, we've done that over and over again. We've heard that over and over again in classes. Choice creates, choice creates. Are you willing to allow your kids to truly choose to create their lives? Are you willing to be that gift in your kids' lives? And I love kids and I love parenting. And I could go on and on with this class. But I'd rather see you in the 1-day and the 2-day class now. We have a 1-day class in Holland. We have a 2-day class in Paris. And before that, we have them in Nagpur, where we
Yes.
have Gagan and Parveen hosting me.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and hi, Chandana.
Hi, sweetheart.
We are looking forward for you, and it's in Nagpur also. So whoever has joined here from Nagpur, we are really looking forward for Chandana to come. And Chandana, even I have one question for you.
Yes.
Sometimes a parenting feels so heavy to me. This word only feels so heavy for me. So many rules and regulations comes with this word. Oh, I'm a parent. I have this authority to do this, that, teach, and all that. So it's been little heavy always to me. So can you please just give a little?
Sure, darling. So I'd like to ask you a question. Whose parenting are you parenting from?
My parents.
When it's not yours, it's always heavy, right?
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And how much have you defined parenting as work? That you have to constantly work to get it right.
Yeah.
Everything that is, can you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and popcorn, 9 shots. Oh, boys and beyonds. Yep.
Yeah, it shifted a lot. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Happy to hear that, darling. So
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you all across the world, across the globe, somewhere in one of these wonderful classes.
Yes.
And I want to send out a big hug and a big thank you through the media, electronic, whatever, to all my fabulous hosts across the world. I really, really have immense gratitude to all of you, to each one of you, whether you are creating the class for me in India, whether you're creating a class for me in Holland, in Paris. I had a beautiful class in America where there was this wonderful host again. It's just so beautiful how this class almost creates itself. Thank you.
So what else is possible? We are looking forward to see you, Chandana.
Thank you,
Yes.
sweetheart. And I think somebody just asked what's the price of the class. So the 1-day class is for 375 euros, which has global pricing. And the 3 hours intro that we are doing in Nagpur is for 7,500 INR. That's all INR. Yeah. All right. So thank you, girls. Thank you, Ruchika, Thani. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you, Reshma, darling.
You're welcome.
Big hug to Severin. Thank you, love, for who's translating this call while we are doing this. A huge, big thank you to her. Thank you, Lawrence, and thank you, Celine. Thank you, all
And
you wonderful people out there.
thank you, Chandana.
Thank you, Gagan. Thank you, Parveen. Thank you, all of, and everyone who joined us. I look forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Thank you.